Well, good morning. Good morning. This is Coffee with Carol, and I want to talk today about escaping reality. I don't know about you, but there have been plenty of times in my life when life just was a little bit overwhelming, a little bit too much. And I just wish that I could escape someplace to a remote island just for a little while, just to get things back in order and sort of hit the reset button. Have you ever felt like that, or are you feeling like that right now? True joy, having true joy is a gift from God. It is not something that we can create. It's not something we can make happen. And I think that that's where we sort of mess up, because the world tells us, get control of your feelings, get control of your thoughts. Don't let your emotions rule you. Master your emotions, right? If you don't master your emotions, if you don't control your emotions, they're going to control you. All of that. And so the world will teach us that we're supposed to control our thoughts. We're supposed to control our feelings. We're supposed to get ourselves in order, right? And sometimes we just want to escape all of that. And so we avoid facing it. In a lot of ways, we take and just try to negate it. No, I'm just not going to think like that. I am going to get positive. I'm going to think positive. I'm going to be in a positive place. And yet nothing changes, right? We tend to fall into this downward spiral of negativity and depression and discouragement, right? Well, just know this. You are not the only one. You are not the only one. Job said in Job 3:11, he said he wished he'd never been born. I don't know if you've ever said that, but Job said it. David, he said, you know what? I wish I had wings like a dove. I could fly off. I could escape these storms of life. I would fly off to the farthest desert and just be there. Okay. And Elijah, even after he had successes, he was like, you know what, just take my life. I am no better than anybody else. So we have to know that we're not the only ones that have been in that dark place. But what I think we miss is that joy, real joy, is a gift from God. It is not something that we can create or make happen on our own. We can't just wish it into existence. We can't force it to happen because it's a gift from God. So once again, we are kind of realizing through this that in order for us to really experience peace and joy and all of those things that we really want in life, we have to turn our attention on God, on what he is doing. We have to turn and shift our focus and look at where he is, not our current situation, not our current circumstances, and try to escape that, but instead face it head on and bring it into obedience to Christ. Bring it into obedience to God. That's what God says to do. The world says, just shift your attention, get control of yourself, get control of your emotions. But God says, bring them to me. There's so many verses in the Bible. Cast your anxieties on him, for he cares for you. That's in Philippians. He goes before you. Fear not, he says. Fear not. I'm going to take care of you. So do you want this gift of joy? Do you really, really want to experience all of those awesome things that God has for you? You have to pause. You have to look at him and you have to say, I want that. Because he's holding joy in his hands, ready to give it to you. But your focus is on something else. So here are 5 steps that can get you to a good place. You ready? Step 1, acknowledge the feeling. Acknowledge it, face it, look at it, and define it. Define that idea, that thought, that feeling. that thing that's not making you feel good, give it a name and recognize it. Step 2, you need to pause then and say, you know what? This thought, this idea, this feeling, this thing that's going on in me, this isn't feeling so good. God, what do you say about it? Step 3, you take the word that God gives you after you've asked him what he says or what he wants you to know, and you go into scripture. You take that and you go into scripture, and you can go to openbible.info/topics, openbible.info/topics, and find scripture. As you're reading over the scriptures, you say, God, what do you want me to learn? Where do you want me to grow, and what needs to change? What do you want me to learn? Where do I need to grow, and what needs to change? And then look and see what scripture jumps out at you. Which scripture is God using to speak to you in that moment? Then you take that scripture, step 5, and you speak it. You speak it over your life. You speak it over your thoughts. You speak it over your day. And anytime those feelings resurface, you speak that scripture. Pretty soon, if you keep doing this, you won't feel like you have to escape at all. You won't feel like you have to run away and hide, because you'll be living, you'll be walking, you'll be experiencing a peace right where you are. I wish you an amazing, incredible, perfectly powerful day. God does the how, and you do the do. Take care.